you don't almost destroy people's careers from a misunderstanding. It was it was clear 100% to me from our last conversation that they wanted you out and they orchestrated everything possible to get you out, especially in a way that was very negative for you. It's good to um, convey your side of the story to them, maybe inform them of things that they don't know about. Um, but I don't think you can expect any kind of positive feedback from doing that because, in my experience, schools like to sweep negativity under the carpet and, and hide it because they don't want people learning negative things about things happening in the school. So if anything does happen about what you say, it will happen very quietly because they don't want a scandal about anything. And I cannot imagine, I could be wrong, I cannot imagine the school coming to you and saying, "We're very sorry, we were wrong." That would seem a very unnatural response. It's only natural in life that paths cross for a period of time. And then they go in different directions. You can't teach everybody forever. You can't mentor everybody forever. You can't parent your kids forever. You can't be a friend to all your friends forever. It doesn't mean that you should do bad things or wrong things. It just means there's a start and middle and end to everything. I don't know. I don't know the financial situation. If you need the money, you don't have a choice, right? So there's a lot of data that I don't know. I would have to do some kind of SWOT analysis, basically, to understand the complete picture. Um, if I say you shouldn't go back there, and the person, if I say anyone, you shouldn't do something, but they need the money from doing that activity, then maybe they have a stronger argument than me. Um, if I'm talking to a prostitute and they say I need the money, well, maybe I've got a stronger argument than they have because maybe they need their health more than they need the money. So it varies from person to person. It bothers me that someone who is in as powerful and intellectual position as yourself has a problem with the question, how do you know the truth? That's what bothers me. It doesn't bother me whether you work there or not. It bothers me that you have a problem understanding what the truth is. Because if you don't have an understanding of what the truth is, you will always have problems. No matter where you are. Even if you're in the perfect world, you're going to have problems. And so when you ask me, but how do you know the truth? I find that quite frightening because I don't mean frightening in the sense of it's terrible. I just mean frightening in the sense of you trap yourself, especially if students, like the classroom can be a very aggressive environment, and students are going to come at you with verbal punches. And if in the back of your mind is, I don't know what the truth is. You said that you don't know everything, and how do you know what the truth is of the matter? It's each person. It's each person's job to understand what the truth is. Because firstly, there is a limit on financial resources. But that limit is placed on financial resources because there's a plan. And the reason why they have those sizes of classes is because they have a plan. So both the size of class and the amount of money they have are both the result of a plan. Therefore, it's not that they don't have money. It's because this is their plan. Is it a shock to them that they don't have money? Did they fucking forget how to count suddenly? I mean, it's supposed to be an administration of so-called experts to sit down and plan out the whole thing. Oh, and then suddenly we don't have money. No, you knew from the very start how much money you had. You knew from the very start how many people you could employ. You knew from the very start how many students would be in the classroom. You knew from the very start how much profit you would make, otherwise you wouldn't have done it. That's talking to adults like they're children. We don't have enough money. Well, who designed the system? You designed a system that doesn't have enough money. It's not a money problem. It's a people problem. Money is almost never the problem, because money is just a way that human beings react to situations. Yes, we have less money. Yes, we have more money. But there's usually a way to figure things out. And if you're running a business, and look, if I'm running my own business, which I am, and someone says, and I say I don't have enough money to do that, well, that's not strictly true. It's true because it's my value system and the priorities in my value system that cause things to be the way they are. It's not money that's the problem. It's how you value things that's the problem. You could easily have less students in the classroom. It's just it's a calculator. You just punch in the numbers and you get a result. It's not shocking. It's not difficult. If the numbers are a giant problem, it's just a bad design. And that's not a horrible criticism of something to say it's a bad design. It's just a bad design, right? It's just a bad design. That's what it is. No, it's money problems are say it again. Money problems are mismanagement problems. We don't have enough money for it. Really? Who designed the system? Yeah, I think they made a mistake. Because that's what, then the whole system has to. One of the mistakes that a lot of new businesses make, not all new businesses, but a lot of new businesses make, is they set their prices too low. They always think, well, I can squeeze a little bit of something somewhere. And then they don't give themselves enough resources that allow themselves to have enough freedom to make things better. And if you're not making things better, you're just making things worse. And so I know, and I know that money is not the problem. Because I think that happy parents, good parents are happy to pay more to send their children to a school that produces better results. That would make sense to me. I mean, are you happy to pay more for a better product? I am. Yeah, I'm happy to pay more for better food or, I don't know, a better computer or a nicer shirt, or so I'm happy to pay more. It makes sense to me that quality should improve with price. So it's just it's a bad design if you are not able to uh, increase the fees of the school in order to cover the needs of the school. And it's a hard situation because it requires, if things are not working, it requires reevaluation. And if you don't reevaluate, you lose in the long term because as you can clearly see, nothing will ever improve. If that problem is the problem, and that problem is actually not the problem, like how do you know the truth? Okay, because that problem's not the problem. How are things ever going to get better if people are telling themselves a lie about what the problem is? It's the money. It's not the money. The money is the choice of people. It's the choice of people that's the problem. Don't look at why doesn't healthcare work? Healthcare doesn't work because it deals with the results of the problem rather than the cause of the problem. The doctor looks at the end result of something and medicates as a result of that result. They don't go back to the cause of the problem and mediate some solution there. Right? You know, the fat person goes to the doctor and says, "I'm sick because I'm fat," and the doctor says, "Take these pills." You know, it doesn't solve anything at all, really. Yeah, and so when the schools when businesses are saying there's not enough money for certain things, it's like, well, if you've got a good business plan and you don't have enough money to do what you need to do to take your business forward, then you go to the bank. That's what banks are for. Now, some banks are helpful, some banks are not helpful. All banks are slightly different. It helps to know your bank manager well and have good connections. But then you go to the bank and you say, look, this is what we've got. This is what we project. This is what we want to change. This is how it will improve things. This is what we need from you. And the bank will do a risk assessment on your proposal, and it will invest in you or let you borrow the money to make the changes that you need to make, which in this case would be I don't know, more classrooms and more teachers and smaller student groups, something like that. There's no school anywhere in the world that's worried about what the students think. Though if schools were worried about what students think, they wouldn't exist. Because the students don't want to be there anyway. Do you want to be here? No? You know, schools are not worried about what the students think. Schools are businesses. They're in place to collect money and redistribute it. I mean, it would be nice to think that that schools acted like students were their clients. But that's not really true, because the actual true client of schools is the government. School serves the government, not the students. Because how many times does the school ask the students what it wants and if they're happy? How many real choices does it give the students? Hell, I imagine even the school lunches are only just average and probably terrible half the time. You probably get better food in prison than you do in most schools. So the idea that the argument that we're worried what the students might think. I mean, there's not one single administration of any school in the world that is really, really worried. Yes, people might talk badly, but it'll be forgotten about tomorrow, because that's the way that schools are, because there's pressure and there's tests and summer is coming. And what happens in summer? Everyone forgets.